I'm up early on my way to the Alaskan Wildlife Conservation Center. I have a 10:30 appointment with Arnold. Arnold the moose. So just give him the one?
Yeah.
Hi, Arnold. He's so cute. Can you tell me a little bit about him?
Yeah, so Arnold is 2 years old. He was orphaned, we think around 4 months. And that's how he came to live with us. Yeah.
Hi, sweet man. I don't have any more.
And he's got some growing to do still.
He'll get bigger than that?
Yeah, they grow
that one's
till-
mine too?
Yeah,
Oh, awesome. I
They're
got
till-
one more for you.
about 8 years old.
So what am I feeding him?
These are willow branches.
Mhm.
So willow branches have really important enzymes in them to get their digestive systems going, and they also have natural painkillers in them.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
something that he would eat in the wild.
Yes, that's gonna be the majority of his diet would be willow.
Okay. Truthfully, it's not uncommon to see moose in Alaska on any given day during the season. The Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center is also home to muskox, bison, reindeer, among other animals, and bear, of course. He just wants to be alone right now. Alaska is truly bear country. Places like the Alaskan Wildlife Conservation Center are important because animals like the wood bison were once extinct in Alaska. Having the ones in captivity, or in human care rather, has given Alaska the opportunity to help them reproduce and bring them back into the wild. Let's see. In my personal opinion, I think the lower 48 could learn a lot from Alaska and conservation efforts. After leaving Girdwood, I'm heading back into Anchorage to meet with Corey, the manager here at Humpy's Great Alaskan Ale House in downtown Anchorage. Corey moved to Alaska from Colorado and has a specialty in crafting quality beer and cocktails.
Alaska being part of the United States, however, very disconnected, and being very, very separate with its own culture, its own identity, its own people, its own, basically its own, it's its own kind of country.
Entity,
You know, it is. It's very much its own entity. It's a very self-sufficient and self-sustaining economy and culture up here.
Corey speaks about the Alaskan economy and his industry after being impacted by COVID-19.
A lot of the negatives and the difficulties really come out of that isolation, and also being so far north. You don't have a lot of industry up here. You know, people are kind of on their own as far as generating wealth, generating income, and what you really see is it's a very, very delicate economy up here. It is one that is by far imports outweigh exports. There really isn't much industry outside of tourism and the oil and gas industry that are truly driving factors of upwards of 90% of the economy within those two industries. So anytime that you have something that's going to upset those industries, such as tourism up here right now during the pandemic crisis, it's absolutely devastating to the economy. And that's tough to rebound when you're not really driving multiple industries,
Any other revenue.
multiple sources of revenue. And so it really makes a difficult situation for us who are so isolated up here in Alaska. You know, we're trying to get through the winter of 2020 and 2021 right now, and hopefully that we can kind of rebound for summer tourism in 2021. But You know, we're very aware that there's going to be a lot of businesses that shut down, a lot of businesses that can't support the economy, that there are going to be a lot of job loss, you know, and so kind of a concern with all of that is people leaving Alaska.
As mentioned in part 1, Alaska is known for its natural resources like gold, fish, oil, and much more. Meaning, much is being taken away, but not much is given back. So I'm walking into the Alaskan Railroad because I need to take the train to go to the glaciers today.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nick. I'm one of your onboard supervisors today, along with Jasmine. Pretty soon here we're going to be boarding for the Coastal Classic train towards Seward. So just have a few announcements before we do get underway. We also have some more people still checking in. First, you will need a boarding pass to get on the train. So if you did not happen to grab that yet, please head to the ticket counter and one of those lovely agents can get that for you. Good morning!
It's not time yet.
I'm gonna do something for you. Can I have your boarding passes?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'm just gonna take care of it over here. Just hang out for a moment. I'm gonna do something for you.
No worries.
Okay. Since you're here from Atlanta, you got it. I'm gonna upgrade you. Just take that, put that on your lapel. Put that on your lapel, please, so make sure they recognize you as a Gold Star passenger. So you're gonna go to this car right here. You're gonna be in row 19C and 19D.
Oh, thank you so
Have
much.
fun.
Thank
Enjoy.
you.
Yes.
Definitely.
Have fun.
Hi, how are you? I'm good.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Jazz Shaw is one of the supervisors on board. She moved to Alaska from Mississippi when she was much younger and has grown up here in Anchorage. She speaks about the inclusion she feels here and how much Alaska is home for her. What has been your experience with the Alaskan culture?
My experience with the Alaska culture has been amazing. I never really started experiencing it until I started working on the train somewhere in 2018. And from there, I've started hiking, so I never thought I would hike before, but the train has made me hike. And I enjoy kayaking as well. And I really started to embrace and enjoy our Alaskan beauty. But honestly, thought Alaska had nothing to offer, and I hated it here. But the train broadened my horizon. Love Alaska.
I'm approaching my stop at Spencer Lake, where I'll meet with my kayak tour guide, Sadie.
Hey, my name's Sadie. I'm going to be the kayak guide today. We're going out to Spencer Lake and kayaking up to the glacier.
4328 ahead, 48 no more, and Willie's coming up after we get a story.
Around this time, I'm starting to regret my life decisions.
They get dropped up by Comet Glacier and then
And again. And even here again.
easier to steer the boat. So you guys are
Let
going to
me
have
drive
a
the
rudder
boat.
system that you steer with your feet. So the pedals are going to actually move. They're going to slide forward a little bit.
But once you see this view, there are no regrets. The iceberg behind me is only a small portion of what used to engulf this whole entire lake. Up there where you see the darker greenery, 100 years ago, and think even about farther out, where you see me right now, this lake didn't even exist only 100 years ago. And that's because Spencer Glacier stretched farther and higher than where it is now. I'm approaching the other side of the lake. The guides packed some snacks and hot cocoa to warm us up before the hike to get a better view of the glacier. The takeaway from this episode: conservation. Natural resources, places, and wildlife. Without conservation, we'll lose all the beauty and ability to experience places like this. Alaska.
Beat.